You're listening to Contusion Broadcasts, where music leaves a mark, and the stories behind the music hits even harder.
People don't return to songs. They return to what those songs belong to. So far, we've broken down three things. Songs aren't the center anymore, streaming measures behavior, and what it rewards is return. Which leads to a more important question. If people come back to what feels familiar, then what actually creates that familiarity? Because it's not just sound, and it's not just consistency and release. It's something more structured than that. Most people think continuity comes from sonic consistency. Find your sound, stick to it, and people will recognize you. And to a certain extent, that works. But only up to a point, because sound alone doesn't create depth. It creates repetition. What people actually recognize is identity. Not just how something sounds, but what it represents. The emotional tone, the visual language, the perspective behind the work. That's what creates the feeling of, I know what this is. And once that recognition is established, every new piece reinforces it. This idea isn't new. Artists have been building worlds for a long time. Bands like Pink Floyd didn't just release songs, they created immersive album experiences. David Bowie didn't just change sounds, he introduced personas that carried meaning across projects. Even Gorillaz exists entirely inside a constructed universe. But what used to be artistic experimentation has now become structural advantage. Today, this approach isn't optional. It's aligned with how the system works. Artists like The Weeknd build cinematic arcs across albums. Tyler, the Creator, reshapes identity with each project, but keeps internal coherence. And because of that, each release doesn't start over. It extends something that already exists. When an artist functions like a world, every song has context. Every visual reinforces meaning. Every release feels connected. So when listeners return, they're not just replaying a track, they're stepping back into an environment they recognize. And that's what creates continuity. Not repetition, but structure. What we're seeing now isn't just artists evolving, it's the role of the artist expanding. From someone who releases music to something people move through, a creative system, a world. At first glance, it looks like artists are doing more than ever. More content, more visuals, more output. But underneath that, the real shift is simpler. The artists who last are the ones building something that holds together. So if continuity comes from structure, then the question becomes, how do you actually build that structure intentionally?
This has been Contusion Broadcasts, where music leaves a mark, and the conversation doesn't end with the song.